The Greenwich Meridian's relative, the Struve Geodetic Arc, is the first scientific and technical monument in the history of UNESCO, and one of the 4 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Ukraine. Its dimensions extend far beyond Ukraine. It is a huge pan-European project involving 10 countries. For us today, astronomy is about deep sky objects, stars, black holes, and galaxies. But a century and a half ago, astronomers had no idea about them. And the main task of astronomy was to measure the Earth, to determine the coordinates of any point on the planet. The coordinates are counted from the equator and the prime meridian in Greenwich. Everything is clear with the equator, it is the only one, therefore it is beyond question. However, determining the longitude is more complicated, because unlike parallels, all meridians are the same, and the Greenwich Meridian is no exception. Besides, different countries used to have their own prime meridians. It was only in the late 19th century that scientists agreed that everyone should start measuring from the meridian, which passes through the center of Greenwich Meridian instrument tube. This means that the Greenwich Meridian owes its fame to a special instrument. The instrument which could determine longitudes on Earth just by observing the stars. However, it turns out that in Ukraine there is a close relative of the Greenwich Meridian, the Struve Geodetic Arc. It is also a kind of astronomical instrument, but a very unusual one. It is impossible to see all of it because it stretches for almost 3,000 kilometers. The Struve Arc is so large that even satellite images can only capture part of it. It was named in honor of the astronomer Friedrich Georg Wilhelm Struve. So what is this landmark? It is the result of extremely precise measurements of our planet. On Earth, every construction project, large or small, begins with people showing up at the site with long striped level staffs and theodolites. They map positions of the base points on which the building will be constructed. Similar measurements, but on a much larger scale, were made to determine the Earth's meridian. Moving along it from north to south, the astronomers identified 265 geodetic points, whose positions are very precisely defined. Each of these points was marked on the surface with a special marker, a pyramid, a cross, a block of stone, or a metal plate. The arc begins at the coast of the Arctic Ocean and ends at the mouth of the Danube River, spanning 2,820 kilometers. Its first point is above the Arctic Circle, in the city of Hammerfest in Norway. And its last point is in the village of Novonikrasivka, in the Odessa region. It took a lot of effort to make such thorough measurements. Begun back in 1816, the work lasted almost 4 decades and involved hundreds of specialists from 10 different European countries. These studies have shown that our planet is not so spherical after all. The radius of the Earth from the pole to the center of the sphere turned out to be 25 kilometers smaller than the radius from the equator to the center. This was perhaps the most unexpected result of all the hard work. Today, such measurements do not require hundreds of people and decades of work. They are done with satellite systems. These modern studies have shown that the Struve arc was measured with great accuracy. The measurement error was less than 2 meters. All the results of the project are carefully kept in the records, but the markers that were placed at the measurement sites have different fates. Most of them are now very difficult to find, and some have been lost or destroyed. Most of the points in Finland have survived. Also, there are lots of them in Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. In Ukraine, there used to be 50 arc points, but only 4 have survived. Finding the rest would be an interesting task for local historians. Indeed, we can say that the Struve arc had become one of the unique objects of astrotourism. The measurements made in the 19th century are still used today in geodesy, astronomy, and navigation. In addition, nowadays the so-called Struve radio telescope arc has been created. It consists of radio telescopes from Latvia, Ukraine, and Finland, and is a kind of continuation of the research that began almost 2 centuries ago.